Hi, hello. So right now I'm doing just some adjustment to the settings of the stream. I will announce it and then I will explain what it's all about. In brief, it will be a small development session of touchHLE. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so welcome everyone. I plan to do some small development session live of touchHLE. I think we will start like in 5 minutes. So I will make some announcement and we will roll. Hello. Okay, so hello everyone. I think we can start. I hope you can hear me because this is like the second stream on this channel and first dedicated to touchHLE, so I'm still trying to figure out how to do it in the best way. but in any case this is a honest attempt to the live stream. So what I want to try to do today is to make one game of my choice to be compatible with touchHLE. So I already kinda started to poke around that game. So I choose to work on the BIA tool, which is Browsers in ARM, which was published by Gameloft in 2010. And right now you could see my IDE, and I already hack some changes in order for this game to work. So let me show you the current state of the game. So it's Gameloft. It was published in 2010. And as you can see, the title screen is showing, and I can well, actually I already launched this game. Let me reduce sound a little bit, and it's pretty playable. I have played like one first level, but it seems to be okay so far.
August 21st, 1942. Dear Eric, enjoying North Africa.
So it's a bit slow because it's in development mode.
こいつをどうする？
今すぐ始末しておこう。仲間が現れる前にな。
David, are you hurt?
Only my pride. I'll be fine. Thank you, Sarge.
It was quite a hard landing. Get up and take a look around. It will help you get back to your senses.
Yeah, so as you can see, I can move
Now, let's
the
recover your
cursor
gear.
on the screen.
Follow me.
So here it's a bit challenging to demo this on macOS because, well, we don't have a support for multi-touch on the desktop environments, and basically there is only the mouse. But still, for the development purposes, it's okay. Okay, so as you can see, the game is running more or less, but this is not the code what is clean. So right now, if I showcase to you the current state, so I'm using some kind of Git GUI, but as you can see, I have an unstaged files, meaning what they are not yet committed to the trunk, and so this is not yet available for anyone. And I want, for the scope of the stream, try to clean this up and hopefully push it to the main branch, to the main trunk of the touchHLE. Hello, welcome. So I will be rolling also some background music because, well, it's a bit challenging for me to speak all of the way on the stream, but hopefully you find this somewhat entertaining. So I'm looking forward to play this game on iOS. The game's Android version is broken when it comes to audio. Yeah, probably. So as far as I understand this game, like if I search BIA 2 iOS or BIA 2 wiki, BIA 2 wiki Gameloft. So the game was indeed released on both iOS and Android, and I have not tried to play on my Android, but on iOS it was really playable. I think we could have a decent support for this game, except for the multiplayer, because we don't have a multiplayer support at all. Okay, so let's see. So right now I do have some changes what need to be cleaned and pushed to the main branch of main trunk, the trunk branch of touchHLE. And what I want to do right now is just to stash those changes. And let me see, I'm indeed on trunk, and if I try to launch the game again, it will crash immediately. Yeah, so as you can see, well, I hope you can see, it's currently crashing on the attempt to dereference a null page. Okay, so there's an audio issue on Android. I think for touchHLE case we do have a decent support for the audio, but we not support every possible API what Apple is providing on iOS, and there is some known issues like we do not support all of the codecs. So for example, MP4 AAC is not supported right now. There is half support for MP3. But otherwise, I played this game BIA 2 on Android, on my version of touchHLE, and so far I guess the audio support is decent. Okay, so in this case, like in the null page access error, what I usually like to do is I load the binary in Ghidra. So you can see here what I already have Ghidra opened and load, and I just need to copy paste the program counter address here, and hopefully I could understand what is going on. So I already looked up this part of the code before stream, and apparently what is happening in this game, it tries to prevent the user to attach the debugger to the running process. Yeah, indeed. So welcome, Hikari. Yeah, we do indeed have AAC support, but not for all profiles, as far as I understand. Yeah, BIA 2 before GTA 6. Yeah, we will see how it goes, because while I do have like a hacky version which supports BIA 2, I'm not sure if I could quickly do it in the proper way. So especially here, as you can see, there is a calls to the functions such as dlopen, dlsim and dlclose. And basically what is usually those functions are usually used in order to dynamically load the definition of other functions. So in this case, I already checked before stream, this game try to load the definition of ptrace. And yeah, hello. As you can see here, we have a crash because right now in the dlopen we do not expect the path to be null, and this is the case right now because if we check the arguments what is passed to dlopen, the first one is 0, which is null. So right now what I want to do is to check the manual pages for iOS, and let's see what we can derive from the documentation about dlopen. Yeah, sorry, we do not really accept the requests for the games, so here it's like my choice to have a look at this one. So dlopen examines the mach-o file specified by path, but in our case the path here is null. So let me see what I can derive from the documentation here. So yeah, about Iron Man 2, I do believe the issue is still exists, the audio one. So basically we have an API called audio unit IP, and we have there was implementation done by Berezhenya, which I tried to kind of reuse for Iron Man 2, and it worked somehow, because indeed we do have a desync issue. Like the more you play, the more you have the desync between what is shown and what is played. So not sure how to fix this properly, but yeah, it's a known one. Okay, so let me see where I was. I was at this main page about dlopen. So what I want to understand is, yeah. So if null pointer is passed in path, dlopen returns a handle equivalent to RTLD default. Yes, thank you, Hikari. And what is RTLD default? Yeah, so now I need to understand what is RTLD default. There are two special pseudo handles, RTLD default and RTLD next. performer will find the first occurrence of desired symbol using the default library. The desired symbol using the default library search order. So what I really think what should be done here is we should just accept the null. So in the nutshell, what I want to do here is to check if path is null, and if it is, I will just return the null pointer.
At their particular publication or television station is because they can surf the web really, really well. That's it.
Hello. Yeah, so now the question is it acceptable in the sense what I'm not sure if dlopen can fail, and if it's fail, what does returned as the I mean, if it fails, does it return null or not? Well, we don't really have a notion of planet games, at least on my side. So I do have some vague idea about which games I would like to make compatible with touchHLE, and basically I just go and try to make them work, and if I succeed, I clean up the code and announce it, and if I not succeed, I do not tell anyone about this. And previously, like few months before, I tried to announce some work in progress, even if I was not sure I would be able to finish the actual game, well, the actual support for the game, and it does not play it well, because you have people who try to reach on Twitter, Blue Sky, Discord, and they constantly asking about the support of the game, which was, even if it was stated what it's work in progress, and we don't have a timeline. So yeah, in order to answer shortly to your question, like, we don't have a list of planned games. Yeah, so back to dlopen. If dlopen fails, it returns the null pointer. So it is not really a good idea to return the null pointer. Let me check again about the null pointer path. So I'm thinking about writing some test program in order to test the behavior of dlopen. So yeah, for example, I can test what is going on the macOS itself. So let me also check what is the mod here. So I want to just log which mod is used. So something like mod. And we just want to crash here. Basically, I will add the to-do what iOS version will be next. Like, we do not have direct plans for the iOS version. Like right now we support iPhone OS 2 and iOS 3. But yeah, that's it. So mod, it is mod 10. Okay. Okay, let me see. So what I want to do right now is to write a small test program targeting macOS and to see what is dlopen returning if you pass the null and the mod 10, which was what is was locked here. Let me see. So I want to write some test program in C, so something very basic, like I don't know, and I will just call the dlopen yeah, so touchHLE live development before GTA 6. Yeah, sure. So where I was. So here I just want to print out what is returned by the call to dlopen. And we will pass now and we will pass there. So it is the same as the mod here, what is called okay, where I was. So this is my test program. I will compile it. So let me see, ls. So we say clang and main.c. So we are missing the stdio.h, and if we run the program, we do have some address, so it's presumably -2. This is interesting behavior. So let's see if we have 16 hexadecimal numbers. If we do -2, so yeah, basically it returns -2, which is interesting. Okay, so I'm now curious what happens if we have succession of calls. So I will yeah, so it seems it returns always -2, which is kinda interesting. Yeah, so once again we have a situation where we have a null pointer in the path and it returns a handle equivalent to RT default. So presumably RT default is -2. So probably we should do just something like this. And we should define also the constant. So let's define the constant RT_LD default. And it should be a mutable void pointer, and hopefully we can just cast it to the proper type. So I'm not sure if it's a good idea to declare it as a mutable void pointer. Maybe I can do just like the normal int, and then here I can do something like I guess we have a helper function called from bits. Yeah, pointer from bits, and then I want to find something similar to our case. From bits minus, no, -1 to bits. Okay. So I remember seeing the similar case into the code base. I'm not quite sure where it was located. So it's probably -1. -1 something. Yeah, pointer. Let's see if we can just do something like this. something like S. So does it work? What is unused? Okay, so now if we try to run we do have a new crash on the different line. So as you can see here, we do pass the dlopen, but now it's crashing is in dlsim because it's not in the like list of the allowed libraries. So I think I still want to see if I could redefine rtld default as the mutable void pointer. What are you going to do when you are done with touchHLE? Well, this is an interesting question because it depends what you mean on the meaning of done with touchHLE. Like, do you mean when we finish touchHLE as the project, or when I personally like leave the touchHLE? Like, I don't think that touchHLE as a project will be ever completely finished. Like, there is infinite amount of number of games and apps, and I don't think we will able to support all of the frameworks and all of the APIs what Apple is providing. So yeah, I don't think what touchHLE as a project will ever be completely finished. And from my part, yeah, I don't know. So far, I'm quite engaged with the project. So yeah, don't know. So back here, rtld default, and I would like just to define it like this. Maybe I should first convert to VA address. Do we have some helpers? I don't really remember. Yeah, so I don't know, as U32 can be replaced with a literal suffix. No, it can't. Yes, so I'm not sure, like Rust Rover is suggesting to what the cast is unnecessary here, but this is not the case. Like if I remove the cast, it will not build. So let me see here. Yeah. 2 bits. Yeah, so I'm trying to check if we already have a similar situation. I do remember we have it, but I don't remember on which in which part it was. So if I do -1s, Yeah, okay, anyway, let's do it like this. It will automatically convert it to a proper type. And I guess this is what we are hoping to do here. So I would like to check if the handle is in the allowed libraries or if handle is equal to the RTLD default. So now we do have some progress. As you can see, now it's crashing on another line, like here on line 32, because we don't have the implementation of ptrace. And if we go to the documentation section, we can see what ptrace is indeed a function what is defined in the iOS manual pages. But normally no one should use it on iOS because this is a Unix-like, well, I'm not sure if it's a Unix-like, but it's a I will say very loosely like Linux-like process tracing and debugging function. So normally you will not expect anyone to call it like in the application code. So usually you call this function, the function get called when you attach the debugger to the process. As far as I understand what is happening here for this game, it tries to hook up the ptrace via dlopen and call it right away in order to disallow anyone to attach the debugger to this application, which does not really make sense because remember, Browsers in ARMS was released on iOS and Android, and this is hard for me to believe what ptrace will be used in order to reverse engineer any of the games on iOS or Android. But so how do we fix it? Like the straightforward way is to define the ptrace and define it as a stub. So basically it will be just an empty shell of a function which just return some kind of error. Okay, let me see. So now the question is where we should define the ptrace. So here the ptrace is meant to be placed in the system directory and in the file called ptrace. So let's do the same. So I would say something like the new Rust file ptrace ptrace.rs. Yes, I want to add it to the Git. I will copy paste the source, the license header, and here I call it ptrace.h. So the same way as it was described here. So let me also copy paste the definition of the function, so function signature, and here I would like to define it. So the same way as we define it for dl, open and other functions. So let me see. I want to define the function ptrace in the stub way. So I need to have an environment next. And by the way, the import for the environment should be like this, and this part I want to be here. Okay, so let's say we do have our request, which is just an integer. Then we need to have a PIDT, so PID. We already have a definition of this type, but it's not public, so let's make it public so we can use it here. PID, and we should import it.
This is a public service announcement from Soma FM and DEFCON Radio. Remember your 3-2-1. 3 hours of sleep per night, 2 hot meals, 1 shower.
So here I will just define the address as the mutable void pointer. I'm not sure if it's correct, but let's see. So we have an address here and how it's get used. The one thing what is kinda strange and I think not very good designed from the designers of ptrace, what this function is actually encapsulates many different actions with different interface, which conforms to the same interface of ptrace. And what it means in practice, what you will call ptrace for the different actions, but using kind of different signature. And so sometimes like address would only make sense for the PT continuum, but for everything else it will not make sense. Which versions of touchHLE will be next? So to be clear, I'm not the one who is doing release of touchHLE. It's like Hikari, she's occupying this part. But in some sense, if you have a look at the GitHub repository of touchHLE, you have the milestones. And basically, the milestones are the things what need to be done for the next version. So the next version, I hope it will be released pretty soon, though I don't know when. So 0.2.3. So yeah, I hope this answers your question. Anyway, let's go to ptrace. So as I already mentioned, for me this is kind of wacky interface, and in our case anyway we need to declare the stub. But I just want to understand, should I declare it as the constant pointer or something else? So I guess I need to check what how C address T is defined. Let me check in off-screen part quickly. So yeah, so C address T is basically redefined as type def char star. So I think this is safe to just assume what it's mutable. So it should be mutable pointer to U8. Which is char. And here, let's say we have a data also, which is of type integer, and we want to return integer. Okay, so here let's see what we want. Like we just return -1 and I want to write a log message. So something like warning, ptrace called, returning -1. And we also can add our parameters here as just for the nice debug print. Yeah, and so here request, PID, address and data, and we don't need to have an environment. So this is basically a stub definition of ptrace. Hello. Yeah, sorry, I do not take requests, so it's kind of pointless to ask. Right now I'm trying to make the Brothers in Arm game BIA 2 to be compatible, but we will see how it goes. So I defined the stub for the ptrace, but now I also need to application to know, like to touchHLE application must know about this definition, and we do it using the functions exports. Sorry, so here I define the function export, and I also need to connect it. So as far as I remember, like let me see, in the sys part the ptrace was defined. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, AP Erasmus 007. So let me see. I have the ptrace defined, and now I need to add it to the list of the functions. So here, can I just do something like libc ptrace functions? Does it work? No, it doesn't. And why it doesn't work? Because it was not correctly exported. Let me check again. So we do have a ptrace here. We do have our list of functions. Okay, nice to know. Thanks, Redman. Okay. So let me see where I am. So I'm trying to define the stub for ptrace, and this stub. Okay, this is kind of interesting. So let me see once again. Yeah, so here it does not import for some reason. Let me check again. Okay, so first of all I should fix the definition of the ptrace function export. We do have how many arguments? We do have 4 arguments. So now at least this error should disappear. Yeah, and we still have error about this one. So what should be necessary for the emulator to reach version 1.0? To be honest, I have no idea. Yeah, so I think this is a better question for Hikari, as she's like original developer of touchHLE and she used to do the releases. So I think she should be better positioned to answer this question. So for me, I don't really care about the versioning, like it's called 1.0 on 2.0, whatever. Okay, let me see what I'm missing in order to properly define this stuff. Okay, so it's probably should be called libc, sys, and then ptrace. Yes. And where we put it, yeah, we put it right here. Okay, so now it should build. Okay, right, I also want to quickly run the formatting script. And this is basically reformats my code to the better defined formatting. Okay, so let's try to run it again and see what it gives us. So it's still crashing, but now it's crashing on the different function. So it's currently DL close and we do basically the same thing. So we define the handle and now it should at least pass this crash. Okay, so now we have a different function and I think this is a good moment to commit some changes. So let me see where I am. So first of all, let's commit ptrace part. And we also can verify what the message is actually printed. So indeed we have a warning what ptrace was called. Okay, so what do I need here? I need this file, I need this file, and I need this file. And my commit message will be something like stub for ptrace. Right. So I'm checking what I'm indeed on the trunk and I can commit. Oops, I forgot this part, so I need to amend this change. So regarding the release officially on the stores, I don't believe this will ever happen. So because this is kind of official position of the touchHLE project to not release on any kind of stores. But yeah, once again, I think this is a question what should be asked to Hikari. Okay, and so I also want to commit this part. And here I will say something like, so where it was dlopen, right? It was something like, what it was? So something like support null pointer as a path in the dlopen. Okay. So let's see, I want also to push those changes to the repository. So let me see, I want to go to somewhere like, I'm pushing it off screen because it has some private keys and stuff. But we can check after in the GitHub actions. So this is like work in progress. So the game is still not working, but this is a progress. So if you run your version of the BIA 2 on the like 3 commits ago, you should see the change. So here I just committed the two stages, the first of the stub for ptrace and the second the support for null pointer as a path. And yeah, as you can see, oops, I have an issue with formatting, so I need to fix it. So fix formatting, fix lint. And we try to push again. And hopefully this time it should be okay. Yeah, now I think it should be good. So let's go back and see where we are. So now we have a function get hostname, which is failing, and this is kinda this is a bit annoying function because it relates to the networking. If we check once again into the like iOS man pages, we do have a get host name function here, and it basically returns the standard host name. So yeah, get host name returns the standard host name for the current processor, as previously set by set host name. Host name function set the host name to be the name with a length. Upon successful completion, it returns 0. And yeah. So I assume this is get like set. So let's see if we can reproduce it locally on the macOS. So I go once again to my kinda test bench, and my host name, let's see, so get host name, and I need to pass returns the standard host name for the current processor. The name length argument specifies the size of the name array, the return name is null terminated unless insufficient space is provided. So let me just specify the buffer of I don't know how many. Yeah, 256. Yeah, let's see. So I want just to recompile. Yeah, and as you can see, I have a segfault because I am passing the null, but I should pass the buffer of size like this, and we're interested in obtaining the, yeah, so we have a 0, so we can also print our buffer. So we say something like, yeah, yeah, so this is name of my computer, and this is supposedly the host name. I think we can just return something like writing the touchHLE into this buffer, and it should be okay. So let me see. This is like uni std, and we can define this function called get hostname. So let me see, this should be a function which gets the environment when we have a name which is mutable char pointer, and we also have name length which is name of which is guessed usize, I guess, and this is returning I32. This is returning like just an int, so in our case with 0 for success. And we should also define this function here. It takes 2 parameters. So in the nutshell, what I want to do is just write the touchHLE in this buffer. Yeah. So basically I will do something like memory write name, and I will just write binary touchHLE. So binary, does it work like this? No, it doesn't. touchHLE 2 bytes. Yes, bytes. Okay, let me see. So I would like to define the hostname as a local variable, and this is just like touchHLE. Okay, so I want to assert what the name length is greater than hostname. When hostname point len. Yeah. Okay, try int unwrap. Should be okay. Now, if we do something like hostname, Does it work this way? No, it doesn't. Oh my god. Like we can do it our way. So let's say bytes at mutable name length, and we say copy from slice, and we just passed the hostname as bytes. And we also need to write the additional null pointer. So write like name plus hostname dot length, and we need to write the null pointer.
But we found where the console was. It was sitting over in the corner, and it was unattended.
Let me see if it works this way. Okay. Yeah, so here we need to copy. So we have our assertion. Yeah, so let me first of all to define in our local variable, like let's call it just len, and it should be a type of guest usize, and it will be hostname dot length. Try into unwrap. Or can we just do it like this? No, we can't. Now I can use it here. I can use it here. And I can use it here. So let me see if it works. Okay. And if I run it, okay, so now we have a new error. You don't see it because the window is off screen, but like we have for a split second the black screen, and when it crashes with another unimplemented function. So let me see what I want to add as a comments. So to do check against hostname max, and here I want to say what, well, for the moment it's okay to use the hostname touchHLE for every function which for every game which asks for hostname, but in the future, if we plan to support multiplayer, the online multiplayer over network, we need to define different host names in order to avoid collisions. So here I want to say something like define unique host name once networking is supported. Yeah, so for the moment it's okay, but in the future we should be we should define something more unique. Okay, so here let me run the linter again. And yeah, it's reformatted the code, so I can commit it to the repository. let me check also the imports. Yeah, it should be okay. And yeah, so implementation for get hostname. Cool. Okay, let me see. I don't want to sound like a teacher, but is it clear for everyone in the chat? Yeah, so if you have any question, just ask me and I will try to answer. Except if your question is make this game work, please. Okay, let's move on. The next thing what we want to fix is the NS URL cache and shared URL cache. Okay, let's see in the Apple docs what does it say about NS URL cache. So NS URL cache is an object that maps URL requests to cached response objects. So I assume this is some kind of caching layer at top of NS URL. In any case, we are currently not supporting the networking in any way. So it's really okay to just nullify this object. And it's pretty easy to do in the touchHLE, and I already have the helper here, and I guess we can define it somewhere near the existing definition of a NS URL. So if we go to, I don't know, NS URL class, we can check what is already defined here. So we have our NS URL, and I think it should be okay to just define it here. So let's say so I will just add the small to-do and maybe some kind of explanation. How did you become a Rust programmer? Well, this is a good question. I don't think I become a Rust programmer yet, but my exposure to the Rust as a programming language was due to my work on touchHLE. So before touching on touchHLE, no pun intended, I did not have any exposure to Rust, and I still think what I am kind of learning as I am going on the project. Yeah, I hope it answers your question. So a caching layer at top of NS URL. It's okay to stop as we don't have yet a working support. Let me see. So we do have some restrictions on the formatting about the comment lines, length of the comments. So I will just split it up. Here, for example. And yeah, I think it's okay to write some kind of a small message. Yeah, so something like stub for NS URL cache, shared URL cache class method. So let me see what is going on. So, well, now we are nearly done, to be sure, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I think it's basically working. Yeah, can I have a round of applause in the chat, please? Okay, so the game is still crashing at the end, but we don't really care. Like, this is when application is finishing, and as far as I can tell, the saves are working, so it's probably not that important to fix right now. I also want to check if the scaling hack is work as expected. Yeah, thank you, Alexander. So I can define scale hack 2, and I can launch again, and it will apply the scaling, and we can play a little bit. Thank you, Red. And we can see if it's working. As you can see, we have a small, I'm not sure if it's visible, but if you can, I'm not sure if you can see it, but we have some artifacts around images, because due to scaling errors, it is not rendered correctly. Let me reduce the sound a little bit.
Clear! 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 Clear!
Clear. And yeah, let's poke around options to see if you have something interesting here, and if you have some crashes. Yeah, so I know what we do have one crash if you try to access the G button. It's basically, I'm not sure what it's trying to do. I think it tries to open the in-app store for the Gameloft games. And this is kinda not affecting the core functionality. By the way, let me switch to the release mode. And also I think I should commit. So I did commit locally, but I haven't pushed to the main repository. So let me do it off camera. And let's check. So first of all, we can see what those builds are passing, which is okay, and we can also see, yeah, what the build is running, and hopefully when this build finishes, we can declare the official support for the game. So let me test it a little bit more. Well, multiplayer will not work, and hopefully here they have checks regarding the reachability of the network, and here, well, we don't have those functions implemented. As you can see here, they are just stubs, so all multiplayer part is just not working. Achievements, no achievements yet. Yeah, so let's just play a little bit.
August 21st.
おい、こいつをどうする？
今すぐ始末しておこう。仲間が現れる前にな。
David, are you hurt?
Only my pride. I'll be fine. Thank you, Sarge.
It was quite a hard landing. Get up and take a look around. It will help you get back to your senses.
Yeah, so right now it's a
all
testing
coming back,
phase.
isn't it? Now, let's recover your gear. Follow me.
So it's not a programming channel anymore, it's a gaming channel.
Let's see if you're still the fastest runner in the company. Double time, soldier. Good, good. Now we'll check your coordination. Sprint to that tree trunk and assume cover position behind it.
I'm kinda surprised how well the backgrounds are made in this game. So you should remember what this is OpenGL 1, and like the details of 3D models is really chunky, but in these games, in this particular game, I found the background is really well made. Yeah, half programming, half gaming, true.
Hold your position. I hear something. Incoming Japanese patrol. Wait for them to get closer.
Okay, so I think this is kinda enough for testing, and so right now I just want to complete the report to the AppDB. If you don't know, we have an AppDB for the to keep track which applications work on which version. Let me first check if we already have something about this. No, we don't. Yeah, we actually have brothers in ARM Global Front. So I think my version, what I currently using is below, like I'm using 1.09. Let me bring back the music. Yeah, so we can submit the report for this version, like it should be another version. Oh fuck, I need to sign up. Okay. So version number 1.0.9, display name BIA tool, bundle identifier Gameloft BIA tool, minimum iOS version 2.1, touchHLE version. So this is a version what I have locally. It's presumably the same version what I have when the build gets produced, because as you could see, the hash is the same. Yeah, it's the same hash. And so this is basically a report for this version. So what else do we need to know? Operating system. So I'm on macOS Sequoia 15. Sequoia, is it written like this? I'm not sure. Let me quickly check. Yeah, Sequoia. Yeah, I think it's written like this. GPU, I am Apple M1 GPU. Scale hack supported, yes. There are some artifacts, but I guess they are negligible. Rating. So in this case, I usually give the rating of 4 stars. I have not managed to play the game far away to understand if there is some breaking changes or not, but so far it seemed to be playable. And so let me see. Yeah, so I already have a screenshot, and for the remarks, first level is playable. Videos are skipped. So this is a common issue with current games, like we do not have support for the video and it's skipped. So this is like nothing new. And we also see what some menus can crash. But this is not a core functionality, so it should be okay. And the report is submitted. I will also post it in the chat if anyone wants to follow. And I also want to ask for the approval of this report. And I think this is basically concludes this stream. I don't think I will do anything else, at least for today. So if you guys have any questions or any last comment, let me know. So in conclusion, what could I say? It's basically not always that easy to make any game supported. So if you could see for the today's changes, it was like 5 commits, but this is basically because this is the Gameloft game, and if you have checked the compatibility database for the Gameloft games, you can see what it's already have a pretty good support from our side. For get hostname, I have a game what needs to be tested. Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a chance what some more games could start working as well, but yeah, this is always kind of the same situation. You try to fix one issue and then you have another one. Here I think we do get pretty lucky, but at the same time we already have a lot of support on the Gameloft side. Yes, so first of all, if your link gives to you 404, sorry, it's because it's not yet approved. I need to wait for the approval from the owner of the database, Hikari, and once it's approved, you should be able to access the report. You may access it right now, but you need to be logged in into the application. Like if you are not logged in, it will show the 404. Yeah, I think this is mostly it. So let me roll the outro of this stream. So thank you everyone who joined. I think I will post the VOD on the YouTube as well. And this was kind of experimental, semi-prepared stream for me. But yeah, I hope I could do more in the future, and if you like this kind of streams, like, let me know, subscribe, give a like, give a star to GitHub repository of touchHLE. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so thank you everyone, bye.